Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you something I've been making for about a week and a half now. It's for my nephew. He's turning 2 today. And I wanted to make something instead of just buying something for him. It is a quiet book. The first thing I did was create all the pages, and then I, of course, sewed them all together and then binded the book, which probably was the hardest thing for me, was figuring out how to do the binding. You can kind of see my binding's white and it wraps around, and then it's just the back page. And then I have this flap of felt that's just Velcroed down that keeps the book together. And I just thought that'll be perfect. So if you just open it up, take the Velcro open. Our first page that I made, this is a tic-tac-toe board. Now he is only turning 2, but I figured this is something he can grow into and that will just work great for him. Now, I really didn't have a pattern for these. I just kind of got ideas off of Pinterest and went with it. For the X's and the O's, I just cut out circles for the O's, and instead of cutting out the hole, I actually just cut out another white piece and glued it on top. So this is all hot glued down and then Velcroed onto these strips I just decided to add a pop of color. Instead of just having red and white, I decided to add a pop of green to it. So I think that makes it even more fun. And then the letters, I actually just cut out of paper, the size and the actual letters, and then I cut them out and then just pinned them to felt and then cut them out. So I kind of made my own pattern, which worked for me. I would say that cutting out letters is very hard, so don't cut out a lot of them. That wasn't fun. This is the next page. This is Mr. Potato Head. I know he kind of looks funny naked, but and then I have on the left side, it's a pocket, and this pocket has all of Mr. Potato Head's pieces. So you can do whatever you want, and I figured in the future maybe my sister will want to make more pieces for him. I really don't know what comes with Mr. Potato Head, but for now I just have the mouth, the nose, the mustache, some arms and ears, a hat, and shoes, and a mouth. So I'm sure you could do other things like a baseball cap, or maybe him holding some things. You could always turn his arms up or just make funny faces like they do in the commercials, or I don't know if you've ever had a Mr. Potato Head. They're fun. So this is a really fun one. I think that he'll enjoy, just to see a little face that he can play around with and pick up all these pieces and move them around, and it's pretty awesome. I got this idea from a lady again off of Pinterest, and she had a pattern actually that I just printed off. The pieces aren't that hard to do, but it was just nice knowing the size of his body. And then for the page that I decided to do, for page sizes, I actually just decided on a size that worked best for me, but you can do any page size that you want. So I'll put a link below of her website. I think it's just a blog, and you can link up to her, and she has a couple different patterns, I think, that you can just print out and use to make stuff like this, to make a quiet book, which is pretty helpful. I will say that on a couple of my pages I did make patterns, just drew out whatever I wanted on a piece of paper and cut it out, and then use that to cut out my felt, and that helped a lot. So my next page, I'm really excited about this one. It's a little town, and I figured either with cars that he already has, or I actually made a little felt car, which probably will get lost, but whatever, I don't care. But he can just drive it around through the town. So this is the little car garage and houses. We have a little church building, a park. I was really excited about the park. I thought it turned out really cute. A firehouse or fire station, businesses, so if he needs to drive to work, he can go to work, and then a temple, because we are LDS, and I thought that would be good for him to have on his page. So I'm really excited about this page. I think even now at 2 years old, he'll really enjoy this, and then he can just put his car back into its little home, and he can go to sleep in his little house. So this one I didn't have a pattern for at all. I just winged this. I totally just started cutting things out, hoping they would fit, coming up with more ideas. I've seen some where they have like a car wash station or a pond, or they have like a little trail going through the park. I thought that was really cute. So you can do all sorts of things. I could have done a grocery store. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do a little grocery store right here so you can go get some food, or you can do whatever you want. It's just really cute and fun for your kids to play with. So, and most of those things I actually glued down. I sewed all the pieces together just like normally. I just sewed like across here and across here, or like I sewed across here and sewed the letters down, and then I glued them onto the page. So I didn't sew them all onto the page. You could do that. I just chose not to. So I just have been using a lot of hot glue, like on the Mr. Potato Head. I hot glued him down, and then I sewed him actually around the edges because I thought that was a nice finishing touch. The pocket I sewed down, and all these pieces like this I hot glued down. These green strips I hot glued down. So that page I didn't do a lot of sewing on, but some pages I did. This next page is also really fun. My nephew really likes trucks, so I thought it'd be perfect to have a truck puzzle. I figured out it is a pretty difficult puzzle, which is really funny because I could barely do it. But I mean, it'll be fun for him just to see a truck and be able to put the pieces together. And then for more of a learning experience, I have shapes, and he can take the shapes off and match them. So what I've done here is I've just cut out shapes, and then I cut out a piece in white and sewed it down to the other felt, the background. I sewed that down and then just put Velcro on both pieces so that he can match the shapes. And I did that. I did circle, oval, triangle, square, rectangle, star, and half circle. So I just did that for all of them. Just a little learning experience, I guess you could say. So for the next page, this I think will actually be one of his favorite pages because he loves animals. So I thought this would be perfect for him. I just have a little farm scene. I have the sun, which I hot glued, a cloud, which I also hot glued, a tree, hot glued. So all of this is pretty much hot glued except for the barn, which I sewed all the white pieces onto the red pieces, and then I hot glued it down. So those are probably the only things really sewn down. But then I have this pocket. The little pond, I guess you could say, is a pocket. And it has all these different pieces, which I just decided, because what my nephew likes, I just went with that. So he really likes fish, because his dad is a fisherman. And so I did some fish for his pond. And I did them pretty big. I know they kind of look funny, but I did them big because kids have small hands. So once I started realizing that, I was like, he's gonna have to maneuver all these, so that'll be really good for him. And then I just randomly decided he needed some apples for his tree, give a little color, and then I did some ducks. At first the ducks I did were really small, like these ones, and then I was like, wait, he's a kid, he needs smaller ducks, so I did these big ones. But then I decided the little ducks are just so cute, I have to keep them in the book. So I kept them in the book, and they're like the little baby ducks. So if they get lost, it's like not a big deal because he has 3 other huge ducks. But I just thought those were really cute. So he can play with those and just quack, quack, quack all the way through the book. So the next thing I did for the barn was the doors swing open, and all I did was just cut up and then over. So really easy. I didn't really try too hard on that. And inside you have 3 little farm animals, which I think are adorable. My nephew actually has a couple finger animals, so I'm sure he'll know exactly what these are right away. So I did a little cow that he can just put on his finger and woo. And they have like a little stall that they sit in, so they just slide right in there. And that's also hot glued. I just hot glued down along the bottom. And then I have a horse, pretty cute. And these I didn't have a pattern, I just kind of eyeballed it, and then I did a chicken. I actually did a horse because I didn't have pink for a pig, which most people have done when they do this barn. So I decided to do a horse. He hopefully looks like a horse. I thought he did, and my husband thought he did, so hopefully you guys think he is, and hopefully my nephew thinks he is, just with his hair. That's what I got from it. So they just fit right in here, and they fit on his fingers. So I just got like the 2 pieces of felt, cut them out the same size, sewed all like the nose and the eyes and the ear. Well, the ears I waited until I sewed the whole thing together. But I sewed those on, and then I took the 2 pieces and I just sewed around the outside and kept the ears so that I was sewing the ears in at the same time, and the hair for the horse. So pretty easy. I pretty much eyeballed it. I pretty much eyeballed everything. The barn I did cut out a template for because I wanted to make sure like this is all squared up, and honestly, like this whole book is not perfect at all. But that's something I kind of love about it. It's really unique, and it's something that hopefully he'll have for a long time and he can share with his brother. Okay, so for the binding on my book, I'm gonna hopefully try and explain that to you guys. I looked on Pinterest for a couple ideas and didn't really get many that I liked, or I don't know, I guess I didn't look for very long. I just wanted to get it figured out. But what I did is I just used ribbon, and on the back I sewed on 2 pieces of white felt. So just thick pieces, and then they came around to the side and they are the binding, which I hot glued that down. But before I did that, I sewed it on. So I sewed it onto this back page, and then on the first layer of felt that's like on the inside, so like here's this first layer and here's the second layer. On the first layer I cut 2 slits, one on the top, like up here on the top pages, and then one on the bottom pages. I cut one right here, one right here, like right in the middle, and then one right here. And then on all my pages I made sure to cut at that exact place. I'll show you. And I cut, I think it was 3/4 of an inch in, I cut a slit. So I cut slits through all the pages, and then I just ran my ribbon through. So you can't see my ribbon on the outside because I layered 2 pages of felt, because I have the 2 thicknesses of felt. You can't see that white ribbon going through. And then I just tied them actually, which I could probably pull it out for you, just show you. See, there's my tie. So this way, if my sister ever wanted to take pages out or add pages or loosen it up, maybe I tightened it too much, she can, and that will work great. So I just have those knots kind of hidden in the binding. So far, I mean, for the day that I've had it like this, it's been good. We'll see what happens when a 2-year-old gets his hands on it, and is able to play with it. And if you want to see pictures, just still pictures of the book, you can go to my blog. I'll put the link below. I'm just showing it on there to all my friends and family. And if you have any questions about it, just let me know in the link in the comments below. It was really fun to create this. A lot of time went into this book. Make sure when you have like Velcro, or I ended up getting this felt. It was sticky. This green is sticky Velcro or felt, and it actually backfired on me a little bit, because when you sew over something that is sticky, it's really bad for your needle and your machine, your sewing machine. So I did not like that, and I got really frustrated because the thread would bunch up. So I would suggest not doing that and just getting regular. I did hot glue my Velcro down, even though it was sticky. Well, not all of it, but some of it I did. So I'm hoping that'll help it from coming up. That is another one of my worries that I need to look into on my next quiet book, which probably won't be for a while, but that's okay. So I hope this helped you guys out and gave you a few ideas on what you can do for your quiet book. And I hope you enjoyed looking through mine. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.